Right, okay, welcome back to another video on the channel. Today I've got a news or transfer roundup, but all in one player. It's all in the Connor Gallagher situation. The reason why it's only on Connor Gallagher is because it's the main thing happening right now, and there's too much happening by the hour to just do it as a section in one video. It literally has enough to be a whole video by itself. So Connor Gallagher, obviously a bit of a tense situation starting to build up. So Connor Gallagher isn't with the pre-season squad in America right now because of how far England went in the Euros. He had extended time off. The original plan for him was to obviously have that extended time off, then come back to Cobham and train with the group in Cobham who haven't been selected for a pre-season tour or going out in loan or being sold or plans to be sold and put it on loan. He's going to train with that group, plus the likes of Cucurella, Cole Palmer, who also aren't joining the squad in the USA because of their extended time away. So yeah, that was the original plan. And while I guess it still technically is the plan, it still is what's happening, it's taken a bit of a turn for the worse because also we knew the board, for a season now, have been interested in selling Connor Gallagher, and it seems like this summer, if it's going to happen, it's got to be the summer because obviously his contract's running out. And Atletico Madrid have shown lots of interest in him, and as we'll get into soon, they've put in a bid for what's been accepted, but it's not quite going as simple as usual. So yeah, it's starting to get a bit tense, a bit of a mucky situation. But let's get into it. What is going on with Connor Gallagher and Chelsea? So I said Atletico Madrid did put in a bid. It has been accepted. Fabrizio Romano, per Albert, Atletico Madrid and Chelsea have agreed on a €40 million package for Gallagher, what is about £34.1 million. So yeah, they agreed a deal between us and Atletico Madrid without personal terms done with Gallagher and Madrid. So the only current agreement is between the two clubs, Atletico Madrid and us. Say £34.1 million. It's all right. It's a decent fee for him. Let's not be under. It's a decent fee for him. It's not as much of a last summer, I think I said 40 to 50 mil. Then we're talking. We can, it wouldn't be the worst ever to get rid of him. I guess with another year down the contract, you can understand why the price has dropped. But he did have a good season last year. You look at the numbers, especially. He had a very good season last year. So 34.1 mil. It's a decent thing, but I think based on what we've had offers for in the past, and the season he's just had, especially when he's captained us for pretty much all of last season, it's an alright fee. It's still a lot of money, obviously, but say for what I think we could have had, or what the numbers we're talking about last season, it is a drop, obviously. Chelsea, we've agreed to deal with that, but we still have been offering Connor Gallagher deals to stay with us. Obviously, he wants to stay. Ben Jacobs reported, I understand Connor Gallagher has turned down a new 3-year deal at Chelsea today, as well as in early June. Wages offered comparable to the highest earners midfield. Aston Villa also had a club record bid accepted for Gallagher in June, but he decided to stay at Chelsea. Chelsea would prefer to sell Gallagher abroad rather than to an English team. So let's break it down from Ben Jacobs. So first off, he turned down a new 3-year deal at Chelsea today. That 3-year deal is expected to be two years plus one option of extension, and the wages are, one of the highest in the club for midfielders at least. So this deal, right? So originally, obviously we know he's turned down three contracts now with us. One in June, one today, and one a bit earlier. So we know the reason for at least the earliest one is a wages issue. Gallagher wanted more. We do also know that this was quite a few months ago. It was under Poch. It's when he was working in the system. So it was a wages issue. They didn't want to pay as much as they're clearly offering to pay now, but they were offering to give Gallagher a multiple year contract, so more of a 5-year contract or whatever. Now what's changed is they're offering Gallagher the money. Well, they're offering more money than what he wanted, but they have now reduced the amount of years on the contract. So originally, not enough money, fair amount of years left, or fair amount of years there. Now, not enough years on the contract, fair amount of money. So the roles are reversed basically, and Gallagher obviously he wants the right amount of money and the right amount of years. So why doesn't Gallagher want a 2-year contract plus 1 year potential extension? Well, one, he sees himself, as we'll get onto, he sees himself as someone who can, he's still a massive part of this club. He can still play for this club permanently in the future, and he obviously wants more of his future. So he's a young player, so he wants more of a secure future at the club, rather than a 2-year plus 1 year extension, or sort of leaving it all a bit in the air. I mean, you barely ever see. When have you ever seen a 3-year contract for a player his age? It doesn't happen. Nazar Kinsella also has something to say about this deal, saying if a certain deal was offered, he would happily stay. I'm talking about Connor Gallagher. Chelsea told Gallagher that he would be a squad player. 2 years plus 1 year deal was the best they could feel they could offer him with this in mind. Gallagher believed to want to be a starter. So obviously Chelsea have told Gallagher, you're going to be a squad player, you're not going to be a starter necessarily, so we can't offer you any more than a 3-year deal. And obviously Gallagher's not a fan of this. He wants to be a starter. He wants more years in the contract. So that's where this contract's breaking apart. That's why he hasn't signed him. And obviously Gallagher turning down his 3rd contract, holding up this move to Atletico Madrid. It's called obviously making the Villa transfer breakthrough last June. It's clearly caused a bit of tension. Tom Barkley reported today that Connor Gallagher has been banished from the Chelsea first team. He was in a meeting at Cobham today. He's not permitted to first team building and won't train with the first team. So that's coming from Tom Barkley, and then later that has been reported. What he said has been quote for quote reported by other journalists as well. So after the multiple contracts being turned down, the Aston Villa collapse, potentially Atletico Madrid move collapsing, Chelsea have had enough. They've banished him from the first team. Like they did to Chalobah, they have banished Connor Gallagher. The man who captained us the majority of our games last season, he's been banished from the first team. It's not a good look, is it? It's not a good look. It's another almost embarrassing decision from the sporting directors to look at. And if someone from the outside is looking at this without knowing properly what's going on, they must think we're absolutely nutters. I mean, honest, every single week these lot make some rash decision and it just looks bad. I mean, what was the even need to banish him from the first team while the whole first team's in a different country on a pre-season tour? I mean, it's not even something from my point of view, it doesn't even seem like something what needed to be done. It just seems like it's adding fuel to the fire. It's just weird, and it's clearly them saying, look, if you ain't gonna leave, or you ain't gonna take this contract, then, mate, you ain't getting what you want. You're not going to just play for us, obviously. They're clearly trying to stamp down some type of authority on Gallagher. Ben Jacobs, for Ben Jacobs, who's covering this story quite a lot, he said, Chelsea will hold talks with Connor Gallagher to try and resolve his future today. Well, I mean, I presume they would be done by now, but it is today at the time of this has been recorded and uploaded. They don't want any bad blood recognising his status at the club. He has turned down 3 contract offers, and Atletico Madrid want an answer by Monday. So see, it's Friday that Atletico Madrid want an answer by Monday, so over the weekend, about whether this can happen. It's a weird move by Atletico Madrid, because you tend to find out from the player, before you try and make a sign-in, you tend to find out from the player whether they're interested or not. So straight away, it's a weird move by Atletico Madrid to sort of get the transfer fee done first and then try to work with the player after. I mean, it's not FIFA. That's not really how it works in actual football. You tend to see clubs, try to get permission to talk to the player, then always try sort of get something along the lines with the player, at least a verbal agreement, before going to the club. Obviously, earlier in the day, we got news that Connor Gallagher had been banished after a meeting in Cobham, and now we're being told Chelsea are trying to hold talks with him to try and resolve it. Obviously, it's clear. I think it's sort of clear maybe they don't like the way it's going. Obviously, seeing him banished and stuff like that, or trying to turn it around. And Ryan Taylor also backed this up, saying Chelsea set to hold further talks with Connor Gallagher later with the aim of resolving his future. They won't allow the player to leave the club on a free transfer. So that's the key thing to remember. So obviously, the club, as much as maybe they don't want Gallagher, sort of, the club, someone who's captain of the club, banished from the first team, they're worried about him running down his contract and leaving for free. So they clearly want They want Gallagher to accept this new contract, or for him to leave now for good money. Kavus Solikul, where I can't pronounce his name, but from Sky Sports, said that the Chelsea contract offer for Connor Gallagher has not been withdrawn, meaning obviously Gallagher could still accept the 2-year plus 1 year extension deal. The 2+1 deal, I think, is being named by journalists. So that's all this. So alright, let's just sum this up. So a while ago, last season under Poch, Gallagher turned sign contract, wasn't happy with the money. June this year, a deal breaks down with Aston Villa, where Aston Villa are prepared to pay a record fee for them. That breaks down because Gallagher wants to stay. Atletico Madrid then agree a fee of 34.1 million or 34.1 million package for Gallagher. Aston Villa, Atletico Madrid then say, look, we're going to give you to the end of the week to sort out what you two are doing. Is Gallagher going to sign a new contract, or is he going to come to us? And now it's just gone tits up. So Gallagher's turned down another contract. The club are happy. The club have banished him. The club realised Gallagher might just try to run his contract down. They say, we're not going to allow you to run down your contract. You've got to either sign a new contract or leave now. It's basically what's going on. So obviously Gallagher there's been reports saying Gallagher thinks he can fight his way back into the first team and earn his spot in the first team. Of course he can. Why shouldn't he be able to? We saw last season he was one of our best players, so why can't he? Well, he might struggle after being banished, but he believes he can. Basically, I think the club want him gone. Let's be honest here, the club want him gone. And I know some people will say, well, he's turned down 3 contracts. How can you blame him? Let's actually look at the 2+1 year deal contract. So obviously, they've offered him the contract on an increased amount of pay, mainly because, here's how I feel, it's mainly because if they can get him on short-term contract, then they can just get rid of him pretty much straight away for money. That's how I feel. I feel like they realise they're not going to get a deal underway right now. I feel like they want to try get him on a new contract and then get rid of him for more money after. I feel that's why they've increased the wage. They've increased the wage because they know. If they were offering him a 5-year contract, are they going to have this amount of high wages on it? What they weren't prepared to pay a few months ago? Probably not. And that's why I feel like no matter what, the club want to get rid of him. But their main idea is not letting him go for free. So they want the pure profit. Obviously, they get absolutely nothing from letting him go to free. And that's from a business point of view, that's obviously understandable. For them, what do they get from letting him go for free? They get absolutely nothing. So the club wants something out of him. They see this as their chance, and I feel like the club want to get rid of him. To be honest, it's just another really shameful treatment of an academy player. I don't think they're handling any of these situations correctly, to be honest. I don't think they're hiding it. I think that they almost think we're idiots and they can hide the point they want to get rid of him or get rid of Chalobah, and it's clear as day. It is clear as day they want them gone. And I feel like they always think they're idiots and they can take us for fools and sort of, beat around the bush with it, but it's just so clear they want both of them gone. And the way they've treated both players, I think, is pretty poor, pretty embarrassing, in honesty. I think Gallagher has every right to try and fight for his place in the team. I think he 100% deserves to do so. Turning down 3 contracts, it's not a great thing. You sort of put yourself in your own position, but at the end of the day, at the same time, the club are sort of almost disrespecting him. I think it's a shame that he's not even going to get a chance. Gallagher's not even going to get a chance to sort of prove himself by the looks of it. For me personally, the club have once again missed the mark with this one. I can understand wanting to sell him. Personally, I don't know if I would. Obviously, we've signed a lot of midfielders, so it's a tricky one. It's tricky. With the amount of depth we've now got in midfield, it's quite clear that someone was going to have to go and make space, and it was quite clear from last summer that Gallagher was going to be the one who was going to get kicked out eventually. So I'm saying none of this is a surprise. What's a shame, but it just shows what they're like. But yeah, what is your opinion on the situation? What would you do? Would you just give Gallagher the contract he wants? Would you stand by what the club's doing, stand their ground? Would you try ship him off to Atletico Madrid? What's your idea? What do you think should happen with Conor Gallagher? What do you think is the best move for Gallagher as well? Do you actually think a move to Madrid would actually suit him, or do you reckon trying to stay and trying to get more game time in this system what may not necessarily fit him be the right idea? So yeah, what would you do? What's your opinion on it all? But yeah, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. See ya.